In a small neighborhood located in the heart of Choba, there lived a young Nigerian boy named Zikolo. Zikolo was the only child of his mother, Janey, and Janey was a single mother who became worn out of widowhood. Death snatched her husband away from her just in the second year of their marriage, and as such, Janey had to cater for Zikolo all by herself. Zikolo was a spitting image of his father, Chukwumobi, so Janey fondly called him my little husband. And after her husband passed on to glory, Janey poured all the love she had in her heart for him on her son Zikolo, because his striking resemblance with his father reminded her of her late husband and the good old memories they once had. Soon, Janey's constant doting on her son turned into pampering. She did not only feed him excessively, but also bought a lot of expensive toys and gadgets for him, and a pet puppy along the line. However, she always instructed him to play with moderation and to handle all the gadgets she bought for him with great care. She particularly warned him about his excessive use of the red headphone which she had gifted him with on his 10th birthday. As time went on, she noticed how Zikolo got addicted to using the headphone to actively listen to music all the time, and admonished him, telling him not to have it on at all times, because this singular act would keep him oblivious of what was going on around him, and this was dangerous. Zikolo would only nod his head whenever his mother spoke about this, but sadly, he did not pay much heed to her advice. One day, Mrs. Janey went out to her stall in the marketplace to sell some fruits, and Zikolo was glad that he was finally home alone. He laid on his soft mattress and put his headphone over his ears as usual to listen to some cool Afrobeats. Soon, the headphone's battery got low and required charging, so he plugged it into the socket beside the bed to charge, as there was power in the neighborhood. The loud music emanating from the headphone filled his eardrums, and as such, he was oblivious of his surroundings. Soon, the melodic jams lulled him to fall asleep. While Zikolo was sleeping, his pet dog, Spotty, having no one to play with, wandered out of the house into the streets on his own, as Spotty tried to cross the road to the other side. It got knocked down by a motorcycle whose rider was driving on a high speed. Zikolo's dog, Spotty, died on the spot. Some concerned vendors and passers-by rushed to the scene, but it was too late, as they weren't able to save Spotty or catch the rider who had already sped off, afraid of facing the consequences of his reckless actions. Nosa, a close friend of Zikolo, saw what had happened on the street and rushed over to Zikolo's house to inform him of what had happened. After knocking on the entrance door and hearing no response, Nosa opened the unbolted door and ran into the house straight to Zikolo's room. When he opened the door to Zikolo's room, he could not believe what he saw. Zikolo laid unconscious on the bed, with blood oozing from his ears. His cheeks were swollen, and his ears looked like that of an elf. Nosa quickly went to Zikolo's bedside and shook him severally in attempts to wake him up, all to no avail. Nosa frantically ran to Janey's shop in the market to inform her of what had happened, because he did not know what to do next. "Ah!" she screamed upon hearing what Nosa had said. "We have to take him to the hospital quickly." And with that, they both hurried back to Zikolo's house and swiftly took Zikolo to the nearest hospital. Fortunately, the doctor on seat was able to resuscitate Zikolo and commenced immediate treatment on him. Later on, when Zikolo was stabilized, the doctor told his mother that Zikolo would have to take the prescribed drugs continuously until the mumps he was diagnosed with disappears as the swelling reduces. The doctor also advised him not to plug any electrical appliances to power while using them. After being discharged from the hospital, Zikolo went to school the next day, and his arrival was met with scorn. His classmates and those he thought were his friends made jest of him and called him all sorts of awful nicknames. That day, he ran back home in shame and decided to stay back from school until he was okay. In the time he was absent, Zikolo missed sitting for his common entrance examinations, so he had to wait until the following year before he could sit for the exams again and graduate from elementary school. Realizing his mistakes, Zikolo wished that he had listened to his mother when he saw his friends and age mates 2 months later running around the neighborhood happily in their sparkling graduation gowns. Hey my loves, I hope you learned a lesson from this short story. One of the morals to learn from this story is that we should be careful when using electronic gadgets. No matter how old you are, please avoid using gadgets such as your mobile phones and headphones while they are still charging, as this can shorten your lifespan or have adverse effects on your health. If you've watched the video to this point, please don't forget to like this video and to subscribe to our channel for more interesting African folk tales. I look forward to engaging with you in the next video.